I think it's actually quite hilarious. I think that majority people who comment, I would say unfavorably towards the development, I think clearly have never stayed in a condominium in city center, never owned, potentially never stayed in one, and therefore I'm not surprised that people are making this comment, right? And a lot of people are making the comparison. What, I just pay 600,000 to go and stay somewhere in Puncak Alam or Setia Alam or somewhere so far away like Sepang, etc. I mean, looking at the comment, like I said, it's just for me, it's quite funny, right? And I think from an expectation point of view, I think people can be very unrealistic. So in business, they will say, right, there's only three things, right? And you can only pick two: cheap, good, fast, right? So that's in business, right? Product or services. If you want it cheap, normally it's not going to be good, it's not going to be fast. If you want it fast, normally it's not going to be cheap, normally it's not going to be good lah. The best you can get is 2 out of 3. You can't get everything. It's not possible, guys, to own something in KL city center, 3 bedroom, right? Low density, 2 mega pools, huge ass gym, co-working, etc. And then you pay 400,000. It's not realistic, especially if the place is quite centrally located, has got LRT, has got MRT, has got a mall nearby. I've decided, looking at the comment, to help come up with a guide, to basically guide people who are looking to buy a property, and you can use this guide to see whether what you are buying, right, is gonna be a good property or not. So I've decided to come up with a guide to help everyone see whether the property that they're about to buy or the property that they already bought is a decent property or not. So we look at it from basically 9 things. Number 1 is how much is the absolute price. Number 2 here is at the density. Number 3 here is location. Number 4 is the rental value. Number 5 is unit specification. Number 6 is the facilities. Number 7 is the amenities. Number 8 is size, right? Livable size. And number 9 is the capital required. Now guys, the way it's going to work based on this particular chart that we have planned, and we basically put in, right, the whole thing, right, the pros and cons. So on your left of your screen is the 2 or 3 things that you can pick. So you can't get all 9 in your favor. You won't be able to get low price, less than 500 units, fantastic location, expensive rental, higher RI, marble flooring, rooftop facility, a lot of amenities nearby, walking distance, big size, and of course then you can buy this without any capital. If you are thinking that you can do that, you are completely unrealistic, especially if you are looking to buy a new property from property developer in Malaysia today. What I can say here is that normally a decent deal will give you 2 or 3. A good deal give you 4 onwards. So 4 advantages rather than disadvantages. Okay. So I hope this guide you can use it, alright, to your advantage, to your benefit. It will help you see through which property worth buying, which property not worth buying. If you go back to this particular example of M Vertica, right? So let's go one by one, right? So number 1 here is that let's talk about price. Is the price expensive or the price is cheap? Now, if you compare to the property nearby, for example, things like Leville, things like Sunway, Velocity, things like Una, these are all property nearby, right? Newly built property nearby the area, right? And you can see majority of them today are asking for about 8 to about 1,000 ringgit per square foot. Vertica can be purchased at below 600. So therefore, from a price point of view, this property, right, so it has got a low price advantage. Now you go to the second point. Are there many units or few units? No, less than 1,000 units. So today, low density development is below 1,000 units. Anything above 3,000 units, in my opinion, today are high density developments already. So, and Vertica, for example, clearly is a high density unit. So therefore, for the second point, the cons here is that it has many units. Now, the third point here is that, can you argue that this property is located at a good location, right? There are MRT, there are mall, there are offices, there are commercial shop. In my opinion, this property has got a solid location. There's a lot of amenities within walking distance. So again, from a pro point of view, now is 2 against 1, right? So price point, win, number of units, lose, whether it's solid area or not, that is yes, right? Number 4, let's look at the rental value if you're looking to invest in this property. Now the rental here, to my understanding, fetches anything between 1,008 for partly furnished all the way to even 2,008 for fully furnished. So rental wise, it's actually pretty expensive for a property that you can purchase at 400,000, 450,000 all the way to 600,000. So from a rental point of view, it becomes a pro for the people who are looking to buy, right? If you go to the 5th point, right? So it's already now 3 against 1, right? 3 advantages, 1 disadvantage, right? Number 5 here is that if you look at the unit specification, right, this is not a high-end property, so I would say it's a normal specification, so quite common. So I would say it goes to the cons. And then you go to number 6, right? Like I said, the unit specification is not bad, but it's certainly not high-end. It's not expensive. Then you go number 6, you go to the facilities, right? Do you have exceptional facilities, or you have a facility which is quite common and comparable to everything else in the area? Now, in my opinion, and I think we've actually seen majority of the property, we would say, for example, for this particular property, the facilities they have one of the best facilities in the area, right? So if you look at the pool, you look at the gym, it's pretty huge. You look at the landscaping, you look at the common area, it's very generous, largely because, well, there's 3,000 units, right? So from a facility point of view, we think it's a big pro, right, for this particular property. If you are talking about lots of amenities, I think the amenities are actually quite common, right? It's not that fantastic. Unlike, for example, Velocity, which is next to a mall and, you know, offices and all that. So from a location point of view, this still requires quite a fair bit of walk. But I mean, there's a bunch of cafes nearby, you know, sundry shop, all of that is available. So I think from a amenities point of view, it's common. So I will put it as cons. For livable size, 850 square foot for 3 bedroom, 1,000 square foot for 4 bedroom, I think it's very livable, right? Very livable. So I think it's pretty decent, right? So we're gonna give it a pro. And last but not least, the capital requirement. So for example, if you look at the capital required, it costs you less than 10,000 to own this property. If you look at this, based on this 9 criteria, we don't think it's a bad property, because from a price point of view, you win. You lose out on density. Area wise, it's actually pretty solid because you are located with all MRT offices all nearby. Rental is good. Unit specification is very average, right? Condo facilities has got a upper hand, right? Amenities are so-so. Livable size and small capital. So you see, for this particular property, out of the 9, you hit 6. Pretty decent. So obviously, right, I mean, to the last point here is that, look, can the unit be lesser? Yeah, right, the unit can be lesser, like Labil, like Una, like Velocity, but the price point will not be at RM500,000 for a 3 bedroom or 600,000 for a 4 bedroom, right? Will be closer to about $1 million. So for me, we've just got to be realistic, right, with this, and I don't think it's a bad buy, right? If you look at the comments, I can bet you majority of the people who comment negatively about the place are actually not owners. Most likely spectators, never even been to the place. I've been, I thought it was quite decent, you know, and I've seen a lot of properties, and, you know, I think the property is very decent. For the price point, I think it's actually quite value for money. So I'm hoping that this guide helped you as much as it has basically helped us. There's no such thing as a perfect property, but what you want to do here is that, based on our budget, is to find property that meets, you know, that have got a lot of pros versus disadvantages. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do let me know if there's any other property that you want us to go review using this framework. By the way, I spoke about this criteria, but you're lucky if the property that you bought has got at least 3, right, of these pros versus cons. But if you are seriously looking to buy property that meets most of the pros, whereby it's cheap, it is low density, right, it's available, good location, good rental, good unit specification, good condo facilities, a lot of amenities, good size, and with little to no capital, Find out how Far Capital buys such property at 30 to 50% discount by attending our Unfair Advantage webinar. See you there.